We are live there. Start streaming. Yes. Good morning. Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The source of this information come from the smart device, the source of our information come from the website on thisday.com, because the smart devices are, the apps are like changing hands and whatnot. Anyway, for links to the source and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. All links gathered throughout the show, of course, will be posted after the live stream, of course. Anyway, I am Xander, and you are you, viewer. Thank you very much for joining us. Today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in 627, we have the Battle of Nineveh. Byzantine Emperor Heraclius defeated Sassanid forces during the Byzantine-Sassanid War. Alright. Then moving on up to 1098, the First Crusaders captured and plundered Mara in Syria. Alright, during the First Crusade. Then we have a discovery of a sarcophagus in 1279, supposedly containing the body of Mary Magdalene in the crypt of the Church of Saint Maximin, southeastern France. And I was just watching some program or something about Mary Magdalene, not the Virgin Mary, that was Jesus's mother, but Jesus's supposed lover, another Mary. Wow, the Son of God had a Ron Swanson complex type of thing. That's interesting. Anyway, let's see here. Moving on up to 1408. Ooh, that's a scary movie right there. Order of the Dragon. The Order of the Dragon was first created on December 12, 1408 by Emperor Sigismund, the King of Hungary, and his wife Queen Barbara of Celje following the battle for possession of Bosnia. Alright, so the Order of the Dragon. Dragon D's. In 1479, Jews were expelled from Schleswig Alsace by Emperor Frederick III. Why though? I'm starting to say this every single time because I really, honestly want an answer. Why do the Jews keep getting, their butts kicked out of everywhere they go? And then right here, speaking of Jews, in 1524, Pope Clement VII approved organization of Jewish community of Rome. Like, how come they always have to have their own little special, segregation area? How come they always get in trouble? What do they do? Not every ass kicking falls out of the sky, so... But then again, every time you question things like this, no, you're a bad person. I just want answers, why do they keep getting historically kicked out of places over and over and over again? What is going on? Anyway, moving on up to 1694, the Royal Society censored Edmund Halley for suggesting in a paper titled Some Considerations About the Cause of the Universal Deluge that the story of Noah's flood could be an account of a cometary impact. Ooh, that's interesting. So, I mean, that doesn't take anything away from the story that, God warned Noah, to make the ark and everything, because what if God sent the comet? When it comes to religious stuff, it's very hard to disprove anything because it's all based off of belief and whatnot. But there have been some things recently coming out, like they believe they found the foundations of Sodom and Gomorrah, which they believe was destroyed either by a meteor impact or a nuclear weapon, because they discovered on these bricks and stuff that one side was glazed only in a way that the heat of a sun could do so. And I'm not talking about just, baking in the sun in the desert. No, they have to, for a fraction of a second, take a brick, dip it into the sun, and pull it out, essentially. So there's some pretty crazy stuff out there that it's starting to be proven true more and more that, the religious stuff is actual fact. So that's pretty interesting. Moving on up to 1700, Utrecht, Overijssel, Burden, Leerdam, and Ilgesen adopt the Gregorian calendar. Alright. I say it every time, it's remarkable. It's, even though, in today's world, there's still differences of opinions and stuff on monumental scales between countries and religions and classes and ideologies and whatnot. At the end of the day, we still got to work with each other. So for the most part, the whole world utilizes a unified unit of measurement, the metric system. The U.S. and North Korea, not being the opt-out, but they still, use it for shipping and whatnot. But then also time, Gregorian calendar. That's pretty interesting. 1787, Pennsylvania became the second state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. All right. It's getting done. Then, 1791, Bank of North America opened at Carpenter's Hall in Philadelphia. All right. 1792, in Vienna, Ludwig van Beethoven, at the age of 22, received his first lesson in music composition from Franz Joseph Haydn. And let's not forget, Beethoven was deaf, one of the greatest composers of all time. We also have 1822, Mexico City, or Mexico, the nation of Mexico, officially recognized as an independent country by the U.S. Cool. You know what? I'll give an applause to that. Where is it? Here we go. Then, 1858, first Canadian coins circulated: 1 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, and 20 cent. That was 30, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. But there is no 50 cent because they don't want to get shot 9 times. 1870, Joseph Rainey of South Carolina became the first black U.S. citizen to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives. All right, here's another cheer. Okay. I don't know why there's so much importance over segregation involving skin color, but whatever. First black guy in the House of Representatives. Cool. So now they actually have a representation. That's awesome. 1871, Jules Janssen discovered dark lines in solar corona spectrum. Huh. What does that mean? Let's look that up here. Dark lines in solar corona spectrum. Okay. The solar spectrum consists of a continuum with thousands of dark absorption lines superposed. The lines are called Fraunhofer lines, and the solar spectrum is sometimes called the Fraunhofer spectrum. These lines are produced primarily in the photosphere. And this looks very much like the library in the black hole from that movie with Matthew McConaughey. I wonder if it has to be intentional. He's looking into the solar spectrum, maybe. So, if anyone wants more information on this, let's see here. Solar spectrum, our first link of the day. All right. 1874, Hawaiian King David Malakalikimaka was the first king to visit the U.S. as guest of Ulysses S. Grant at the first U.S. State Dinner of the White House. Okay, so the first U.S. State Dinner honoring, the Hawaiian king, and of course we know Hawaii was completely and totally reamed, by the U.S. politics and whatnot in order to get that land. But at least we started a tradition at State Dinner. So cool. Then we got 1878. Joseph Pulitzer began publishing the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Okay. 1897. Here we go again. Anti-Jewish violence broke out in Bucharest, Romania. Why? What is going on? What do they do to warrant entire areas to constantly kick them to the curb? What do they keep doing? Not every ass kicking falls out of the sky, as Bill Burr says. 1897, Belo Horizonte, the first planned city of Brazil, was founded, and I wonder if it's still around. It has to be. So if anybody lives in Belo Horizonte watching this, the city of Brazil, yeah, so cool. That's a nice looking city right there. Happy birthday to your city. Ooh, that's rather okay. We go back to beautiful. This is what's the word? Some type of brutalist. That's very brutalist. So they need to add some more color to this. We go to a bunch of fountains. That looks nice. That looks kind of Soviet-esque right there. That looks nice. Beautiful, nice. Oh, all right. 1897, Rubinoff Dirks' first The Kazdijammer Kids cartoon strip appeared in a New York journal. All right. 1 year later, 1898, the first class cricket game between Australian states New South Wales and Tasmania. Okay. And then 365 days later, we have the first case of the plague in Oahu, Hawaii. And let's not forget Maui, guys. Those people still are getting screwed. I have no idea what state they're in, but obviously they're in Hawaii, but you know what I mean. In 1899, George F. Bryant of Boston patented the wooden golf tee. Yeah, you know, you had to have tees. Somebody had to patent it, so, you know, he did. 1900. James Weldon Johnson's poem Lift Every Voice and Sing was set to music by his brother J. Rosmal Johnson. The hymn later became known as the Black National Anthem. Okay. Once again, I don't know why they have to segregate themselves so hard from everybody else, but you know what? Whatever boats their float. In 1902, German historian Theodor Mommsen was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature for, quote, his historical writing with special reference to his monumental work in A History of Rome, double end quote. And I want to go back here, like what I said about the Black National Anthem and everything. Back then, yes, they did. They were segregated, not of their own decision. I understand that, but in today's world, like compare today's world versus back then, it is so vastly different. So all the people who are continuing to spout rhetoric of segregation, one way or another, you're on the wrong side of history, bub. You don't need a Black National Anthem anymore. You shouldn't really have had to, but the National Anthem, it's for everybody. Not just whitey, but it's for everybody. So, anyway, 1906, Oscar Strauss, first Jewish U.S. government member, appointed Secretary of Commerce. Alright. And I know that I skipped over something pretty significant. 1901, Guglielmo Marconi sent the first transatlantic radio signal from Poldhu in Cornwall to Newfoundland, Canada. All right, Cornwall. So the UK to Canada. 1911, Delhi replaced Calcutta as the capital of India. All right. And 1913, Hebrew language officially used to teach in Palestinian schools. Yep, and I have a feeling that this was part of the whole plan for the inevitable takeover. They were teaching them the language of those that they would soon take over. So, yeah. Palestine, man, not even on the map anymore. 1914, the largest one-day percentage drop in the history of Dow Jones Industrial Average, down 24.39%. Alright, I wonder if that's since been beaten. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to look it up because I don't give a tiddler's damn about economy. 1915, first all-metal aircraft, the Junkers J-1 test flown at Dessau, Germany. And it's not that I don't care about economy; it's that it's just too advanced for me. So I don't care about things I don't understand. Although I should learn how to understand it, to be honest. You know what? I'm gonna look this up. Largest one-day drop in the history of Dow Jones average. Let's see if that has been beaten. You know what? I'm gonna go back on what I said. 22.6%. No, this is not right. Now, here we go, another historical discrepancy. If anybody wants to go down the rabbit hole and try to figure out which one of these two are right, or if they're both wrong, please let us know in the comments section. 1917, French troop train derails in French Alps, killing 543. Yikes, and that's obviously sending people to the front. Or, I guess, well, I don't know which direction it was heading, but that was during the First World War. And there were trenches up in the Alps and whatnot. There was fighting up there. I mean, let's not forget that one cannon that just got abandoned up there. Like, hold on, abandoned cannon in the Alps. Abandoned cannon in the Alps. Images. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. They somehow, like, got that cannon up to the Alps. In the Alps. And just started bombarding people. And it's still there to this day. Probably doesn't look that good. That looks rather polished to me. But I mean, like, the wood, like flappers on the wheel, the wood wheels, like they're preserved. It's so cold. I'd like to go visit that, but that's one hell of a hike. 1917, Reverend Edward Flanagan formed Boys Town outside of Omaha, Nebraska. That sounds kind of eyebrow raising right there. Let's look up this entire article really quick. Just what the hell does this Boys Town mean? In 1917, after years of working with Omaha's homeless men, he opened Father Flanagan's Boys Home, which later became Boys Town, and championed the causes of children across the country. Father Flanagan's Boys Home accepted all boys regardless of their race, creed, or cultural background. Alright, so that's pretty cool. What was it called? Boys Town. We need more stuff like this. That's pretty cool. You know, there's like an area just for, you know, the downtrodden and whatever. I'm pretty sure, you know, like, you know, with some supervision, they would act like normal humans. So I'm talking about, like, you know, like homeless people. Like, you know, look at how they act in San Francisco and all that stuff. You know, like, at the end of the day, people are people too. They just gotta learn how to you know, act in a civilization. You know, unfortunately, civilization casts them out, so why should they abide by the rules? You know, I can't blame them for doing what they do. 1925, Arthur Hyman coined the term motel from motor hotel, opened a motel inn in San Luis Obispo. I know where that is. So this is the birth of the motel word, at least. 1925 as well, last Qatar Shah of Iran was deposed. Reza Shah Pahlavi took over. Huh. Well, he has Shah literally in his name. So I guess that wasn't the last of the Shahs. That's kind of weird. And we also have Medina surrendered to Saudi forces led by Sultan Abdulaziz ibn Saud, the founder of Saudi Arabia. Yep. Forced unification in the Saudi peninsula. You know, took over areas, killed people, consolidated power, all that stuff. All the usual rigmarole. 1930, Baseball Rules Committee greatly revised the rule book. Ball bouncing into stands is now not a home run, it is a double. Okay. While that was going on, the start of the first Australia versus West Indies test at Adelaide. And that's, of course, cricket. 1932, USSR and China resumed diplomatic relations. Okay, so that has to be when actual China got booted out and fake China came in and took over. Yeah, that sounds about right there. 1933, Eddie Howe. Actually, not Eddie Howe. Eddie Shore hits Toronto Maple Leafs star Ace Bailey from behind, fracturing his skull and ending his career. That is not cool. That's almost as bad as that one guy who, you know, karate kicked the dude on the throat on the ice a couple months ago. And then just got away with it, you know, just because, you know, politics, whatever. Let's see here. 1936, Chinese leader Chiang Kai-shek declared war on Japan. This is the one before must have been the CCP. Or actually, yeah. So we spoke about all the way as far back as like 1941, I believe, China declaring war on Japan, but that was not actual China. That was the CCP. In 1936, real China, what we know today as Taiwan, declared war on Japan because, yeah, they were getting invaded. 1937, Japanese aircraft shell and sink U.S. gunboat Panday on Yangtze River in China. Japan apologized and eventually paid the U.S. $2.2 million in reparations. Wow. And that was well before our involvement. So yeah, they did not mean to hit us. They didn't want an international incident that would have brought us in the war well before we actually did. So, yeah. That's interesting. Wow, $2.2 million in reparations. Wow, they were big sorry. 1937 as well. NBC and RCA sent the first mobile TV vans onto the streets of New York. So yeah, the press vans and all that stuff, you know, those vans you see rolling around with the satellite dishes and crap on them today. Yeah, this is when they first started, so that's pretty cool. 1939, Russia, I believe it's Russia's, Indy Gurkha capsized in a blizzard off Japanese coast, resulting in 750 deaths. Yikes. That is a lot of deaths. 1941, European reservists on Java mobilized. So those in the Pacific Islands of Java, because of Japan's actions and reactions to our actions and reactions and all that stuff. There's a whole tit for tat leading up to Pearl Harbor. But yeah, now at this point in time in 1941, World War II essentially is pretty much like completely engulfed the war. Canada declared war on Japan. The U.S. and the UK declared war on Japan the next day, and then Germany, Italy declared war on the U.S. several days later. So now it really is the World War. Let's see here. 1941 as well, German occupying army do a house-to-house search in Paris looking for Jews. Yep, and that's coming quickly here on the West Coast to certain political opponents or those of certain ideologies or whatever. everything, history repeats itself. Well, it doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it certainly mirrors itself quite spectacularly. Especially because of ignorance, you know, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And especially with history being rewritten and like being so wobbly. Oh man, people like me, like we really are the glue that stick the world together, you know. So let's see here. What else do we got here? 1942, a fire in a hostel in St. John, Newfoundland killed 100 people. Yikes. And 3 years later, a special court of justice convicted Dutch Nazi leader Mussert to death in 1945. All right. 1946, Tide laundry detergent introduced. Okay, so if you use Tide, you know, this is when it started, all the way back on this date in 1946. Oh, it's December 12th, too, so the 12 days of Christmas. My true love gave to me a detergent for my laundry. 1946, abandoned ice plant in Manhattan, New York City, collapsed during a fire, shearing a tenement building next door, killing 38. Yikes. That's not good. 1946, let's see if I have any comments, because I need to be more Johnny on the spot with my live chat and everything. Especially since I have a couple people who have been trying to get a hold of me the past couple of days, so I gotta keep tabs on live chats here. 1946, the United Nations accepted 6 Manhattan blocks as a gift from John D. Rockefeller Jr. Oh, what a... how generous. What a philanthropist. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I believe that's the site of the UN building today. 1947, United Mine Workers Union withdrew from AFL. The American Football League? Like, let's look this up here really quick. What is AFL? In this context, United Mine Workers of America. Why was John Lewis kicked out of the AFL? Is this... Okay, what is the AFL? Well, let's just look at this. United Mine Workers of America, AFL-CIO. Okay. AFL, the American Federation of Labor, and the Congress of Industrial Organizations. Okay. Alright, so, yeah, for more reading, United Mine Worker... Alright, we'll put that in there, and we will have AFL-CIO, FL-CIO hyphen, alright. Moving on up to 1948, Malayan emergency, Batang Kali massacre, 14 members of the Scots Guard stationed in Malaysia allegedly massacred 24 unarmed civilians and set fire to the village. And as Alice would say, allegedly, I'm Michael Jackson, but yeah, no, like, that is not good. I wonder if they actually really did kill 24 unarmed civilians. If anybody wants to let us know in the comments section, because I don't want to go down a whole rabbit hole of did they, didn't they, whatever. 1949, the American League voted 7-1 rejecting legalizing the spitball. We spoke about that not too long ago, actually. So they tried to bring the spitball up several times, and now twice, at least to my knowledge, and both times it went down. 1950, baseball owners voted to drop the 4-year-old bonus in high school rule. Okay. Baseball high school rule. What does that mean? The high school rule? High school rule, baseball. Can high school baseball end in a tie? But what is this high school rule? Okay, well, this is a whole bag of worms I don't want to open. So if anybody, once again, challenge to you viewers, if there's anything you know about this, please let us know in the comment section. We got to move up to 1953. Chuck Yeager reached Mach 2.43 in a Bell X-1A rocket plane. Yep. So let's see here. Let's take a look at this bird. Bell X-1A. Oh, whoa. I don't want to open it. Okay, this one. I remember this one. Alright. Oh yeah, the iPhone camera looking exhaust ports. Yeah, that one. Alright. 1955, first prototype of hovercraft patented by British engineer Christopher Cockerell. Okay, hovercrafts. It's pretty cool. And actually, like, what's really interesting is, like, every now and then, like, I like to go on Google Maps, satellite view, and just roam around, you know. And sometimes I find myself, like, you know, going between LA and San Diego. And there's Camp Pendleton there, and then on the coast there's this one, there's this launch where they have, like, all their hovercraft maneuvering training, like, you know, area over there. And it's really cool to see a hovercraft launch built into the beach. 1955, the film adaptation of The Rose Tattoo, starring Anna Magani and Burt Lancaster, premiered at the Astor Theater in Times Square, New York City. All right. And I just saw a video, actually, about tattoos from Kajirka. However it's pronounced. Let's see here. It was, where'd it go? This one. Your tattoo is inside of your body. It's part of your living organism. And it's actually a very interesting... You know what? I'm going to add this to the underbar. You should really watch this and subscribe. They do some good stuff. Infographics. Living tattoo. Yeah, it's really interesting. Go give that a watch after this show, of course. Like, it shows you, you know, on a cellular level how your tattoos work and why they fade and how laser removal works and all that stuff. It's really interesting. I never thought about it. Moving on up to 1956, commencement of the Irish Republican Army's border campaign. Yeah, the Troubles. So, 1957, Maj Adrien Drew flew 1,943 kilometers per hour in an F-101 Voodoo. What does this aircraft look like? Let's see, F-101. Oh, okay. That's a lot of kilometers per hour. That is a fighter jet, I believe. Not sure though. Is it a fighter? Or it'd be a bomber, right? There's two pilots. Yeah, that looks like a bomber. Yeah, that's a bomber, not a fighter. Never mind. 1957, U.S. announced manufacture of borazon harder than diamond. Artificial harder than diamond stuff, yeah. So I mean, well, we gotta cut diamond somehow. How do you cut something with something that is not as hard? You know, the never-ending question. 1957, William J. Clough and his team at Ohio's Cleveland Clinic removed the heart from a dog and replaced it with a pneumatic pump, which kept the dog alive for 90 minutes, proving the viability of the artificial heart. And see, you know, this is the rub in things. Like, you try to do something like that today, and you would have PETA and all other, you know, sorts of stuff flying at you with rightful cause. You know, now I myself, I don't like dogs, but that doesn't mean, you know, I support something like this. This is awful. They removed the heart, probably of a healthy dog, I'm not sure, just to prove a point. But in doing so, they proved that the artificial heart is viable. Now, granted, we probably could figure out, you know, other ways, you know, in today's world if we never unlocked that technology yet. But still, you know, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. So sometimes you gotta, you know, get out there and, what was Miss Frizzle's quote? Like, get messy, Miss Frizzle's quotes, get messy. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy. You know? Yeah, that's some quotes to live by right there. 1959, the UN Committee on Peaceful Use of Outer Space was established. Okay? You know, kind of the same thing as Antarctica and all that whatnot. 1961, amateur radio satellite Oscar 1 launched with military Discoverer 36. Alright. And while that was going on, Nazi German army officer Adolf Eichmann was found guilty of war crimes in Israel. Yeah, well, yep. That's 61, yep. So, in 1963, Argentina asked for extradition of ex-president Juan Perón. Yeah, they wanted their guy back. He fled. Because he pissed off the people just way too much. 1963, Frank Sinatra Jr. returned by kidnappers after his father paid the $240,000 ransom demanded. Wow, and way to put a space in their source. Wow, I wonder if the kidnappers later got taken out. Because Frank Sinatra definitely had some heavy dealings with the mafia. He wasn't a mobster himself, but he knew them. And yeah, probably not a wise idea to, you know, take the kid up from a wise guy. I'm not sure. 1963, Kenya, which was formerly British East Africa, declared independence from the UK. All right, go Kenya! And then, of course, the first president of Kenya, Benjamin Kenyatta. Kenyatta. It was something Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta, not Benjamin. Jomo Kenyatta. And Kenya, you know, the namesake of the country, you know. 1965, the Beatles' last concert in Great Britain at Capitol Theatre in Cardiff, Wales. Okay. 1968, Arthur Ashe became the first black person to be ranked #1 in tennis. Hell yeah. The guy, this photograph, it looks like he has a little fro on top of his fro. You know, like a fro. But, yeah, great tennis player. We also have 1968, Rolling Stones film TV show Rock and Roll Circus. Guest performers included The Who, Jethro Tull, Taj Mahal, Marianne Faithfull, and John Lennon and Yoko Ono. The program never aired. The program never aired. What? What is that even? What? The program never aired. Okay, you know, I'm gonna send this to Creek right now to decipher this. Where are you? Let's see here. Creek, decipher this. This, please. Decipher this, please. Never aired. Alright, moving on up. What else do we got here? 1969, decathlon Bill Toomey achieved world record score of 8,417 points. Okay. 1970, small astronomy satellite Explorer 42 was launched to study X-rays. And X-rays were actually given that name because they were unknown, like the X, you know, somebody trying to pull on Elon Musk before Elon Musk was around, I believe. But yeah, that's... hold on a second. Namesake of X-rays. Namesake of X-rays. Reported the discovery of X-rays on December of 1895 after 7 weeks of assiduous work during which he had studied the properties of this new type of radiation able to go through screens of notable thickness. He named them X-rays to underline the fact that their nature was unknown. So, you know, there we go. Unknown, X. You know, and the name stuck. So we still have that to this day, even if we probably now know the nature. Do we know the nature? Do we know the nature of X-rays? Are a form of electromagnetic radiation similar to radio waves, microwaves, visible light, and gamma rays. X-ray photons are highly energetic and have enough energy to break up molecules, and hence damage living cells. When X-rays hit a material, some are absorbed and others pass through. So there you go. So we do know the nature of X-rays, but they still have their unknown moniker. Anyway, moving on up to 1971, Romanian tennis star Ilie Natasi finished ATP Masters Grand Prix with a perfect 6-0 record to win the rich season-ending event at the Coubertin Stadium in Paris. Alright, yeah, this guy right here. He looks French. Is he French? Oh, he's Romanian. Okay, well, never mind. I don't know what French people look like. I don't know. Like, people look like people to me. Like, you know, there are differences and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you know, for the most part, you know, we all look the same. Anyway, 1972, The Poseidon Adventures, starring Gene Hackman. Damn you, Hackman! Ernest Borgnine, Shelley Winters, and Jack Albertson premiered in New York City. Alright. 1973, Canada began selling Olympic coins, $5 and $10 silver coins. Alright, I'm pretty sure some collectors have those. 1973 as well, San Diego filed an antitrust against National League, or filed an antitrust against the National League to stop the Padres from moving to DC. Yeah, a lot of back and forth and whatnot happening involving, you know, sports teams and whatnot. The Loon and I just yesterday were having a whole talk about. He had no idea because he was surprised during yesterday's history show where like the California League or whatever it was called was attempted to register and was denied to become a major league. It used to be a minor league league, but then it dissolved, and some of those teams like the Angels. Got absorbed into actual pre-existing major leagues or whatever, and all that stuff. A whole bunch of politics happening, rigmarole. 1974, 50-year-old Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter announced his candidacy for the Democratic nomination for president. Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer, and his brother, like Bud, brew beer, Bud's beer, Carter beer, something beer, I think. I don't remember. 1975, a gas stove exploded and started a fire, killing 138 people in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Yikes. Yikes. That's not good. Oh, while that was going on, Sarah Jane Moore pled guilty to trying to kill U.S. President Gerald Ford, serves 32 years because of it. I'm surprised he didn't kill her. You know, like, I don't know what more you can do to get a death penalty, but, I mean, attempting to kill a head of state is a pretty severe thing. 1976, quarterback Joe Namath played his last game with the New York Jets. All right. And 1979, I'm pretty sure the loon would get a chuckle out of this. You know, we work in these types of metals. Gold hit a record $462.50 an ounce. You know, what is Kitco? Kitco gold ounce. What's a gold ounce? Kitco, there we go. Price of gold per ounce. What does it say on Kitco right now? $1,980.40. So that is quite a substantial jump. So, and yeah. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1980, Apple made its initial public offering on the U.S. stock market. 38 years later, it would become the first U.S. company valued at over $1 trillion. Wow. Just 38 years. Whew. That is, yeah, anybody who invested it back then, you know, is a smart move. 1980 as well, U.S. copyright law amended to include computer programs. Yep, it did. 1981, Gambia and Senegal signed an agreement to be known as Senegambia in February 1982. All right. And let's look this up, Senegambia, if anybody wants to know more about this. Senegambia, officially the Senegambia Confederation or Confederation of Senegambia, was a loose confederation in the late 20th century between the West African countries of Senegal and its neighbor, the Gambia, which is almost completely surrounded by Senegal. Wow. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, it looks like a worm or something. That's weird. So, for further reading on Senegambia, please refer to, let's see, Senegambia, Senegal, Gambia. All right. Moving on up to 1982, $9,800,000 in cash was stolen from a money transport car in New York City. Whoa. So how much is that today, though? 1982? Let's see here. Easily like 20 million. CV, 1982. How much it would be? Okay, well, it's too close. If anybody knows the what the monetary value of it would be today, please let us know once again in the comment section. 1982 as well, the snowplow game. The snowplow game. So during the snowplow game, when a snowstorm held a New England versus Miami game scoreless, Mark Henderson, a convict on work release on Patriots coach Ron Meyer order, cleared the path for John Smith's attempt, which wins the game for the Patriots 3-0. A convict. Wow. So okay, that's interesting. 1985. That must have been pretty fun. You're a prisoner, but you get to clear the field for somebody. That's interesting. 1985. 248 U.S. soldiers and 8 crew members died in an Aero Air charter crash. That sucks. That's a lot of people. 1985 as well. DC-8 crashed near Gander, Newfoundland. 258 people die. Would this be the same thing? Aero Air charter crash, 1985. Let's look this up here. I think these might be one and the same. 1985. Air flights, 1285. That would be that one. Gander Airport Hangar. Gander. Yeah. So these are, once again, I have 2 articles. It's the same exact art. It has to be. So what is going on with their source? They're splitting up the articles. That's weird. 1985 as well, Never a Straight Answer launched Space Vehicle S-207. What is Space Vehicle S-207? Let's look at that. Here. Oh, okay, there's some satellite or something, I don't know. 1986, James Bone Crusher Smith, technically... Oh, pardon me. I think I know the source. My window's closed and I'm not getting oxygen. So... yeah, James Bone Crusher Smith technically knocks out WBA champ Tim Witherspoon in Madison Square Garden. Alright. 1987, Mookie Blakelock set NBA record of 13 steals in a game. Okay. 1 year after that, 1988, 3 trains collided in London, 40 died. Yikes, 3 trains. That's a rarity. Usually it's 2. Like, how do you get the 3rd train in there? So... The Paddington. Oh, Paddington. Oh man, 31 people. But this is 40. So is this the same thing? I'm not sure. Anyway, 1988, New York City subway system added new stations, the Z line or the Z line. So anyway, here, out in New York, you'll rise the Z line or anything like that. Yeah, you can thank 88 for that. We also have PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization or something. Leader Yasser Arafat accepted Israel's right to exist, probably by force. Not even probably, or most likely, definitely by force. Probably at threat of assassination, actually. 1988, Sandra Miller of Queens sued Mike Tyson for sexual harassment. Okay. 1990, you know what? Like where are all the Me Too girls? Why aren't they as brave as Sandra Miller? They waited 30 years. Really? That's why I say the whole Me Too movements. I'm pretty sure, a decent amount of them are truths. But I almost guarantee you at least 95% of everybody who ever laid a claim in Me Too was just a complete liar. Just want to take somebody down utilizing a public movement to do so. 1990, U.S. accused Iraq of dragging its feet on dates for talks. Well, of course it is. 1991, Abuja replaced Lagos as the capital city of Nigeria. Okay, that's pretty cool, I think. Although I know about Lagos, I never heard of Abuja. 1991, Orion Pictures filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, or for bankruptcy protection. Alright, Orion Pictures. While that was going on, Tampa Bay Buccaneer Dexter Manley retired after failing a drug test. That would do it. 1992, a 6.8 to 7.5 earthquake. That is a substantial, difference right there. Because a 6.8 is 10 times stronger than a 6.7, and a 6.9 is 10 times stronger than a 6.8. A 7 is 100 times stronger than a 6. That's how the Richter scale magnitudes work. So that is a huge discrepancy right there. It struck the Flores Islands. The tsunami later went on to kill 3,000 people. Jeez, man. Where's Lady Death when you need her? 1992, the New York Giants lost 19-0 at Phoenix Grounds. Yikes. And that was 92, so where are we? Oh, yeah, here we go. Right there. 95, amendment to make it illegal to physically desecrate the flag was turned down by Senate 63 to 36. Needs a two-thirds of the vote. That's kind of weird. 6336. Huh. Interesting. In 1995 as well, CBC announced Radio Canada International Service will end on March 31st. So it has to be next year. So January, February, March. So you have... back in 95, you had about 3 more months and change until the end of that radio service. 95 as well, NBA referees returned to work after striking. Okay. 365 days later, 1996, assassination attempt on Uday Hussein, heir to the Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein. Yeah, I actually still somewhere I have my own deck of cards. I remember back during the Iraq. Not the Iraq War, but the second one, back in 2001, 2003, and all that stuff. They had a whole deck of playing cards with all the various, Saddam Hussein, of course, was the Ace of Spades, and then Uday and Qusay and all that stuff. I have a deck of those cards somewhere. 1997, Carlos the Jackal, a professional revolutionary, went on trial in Paris. Okay. How you became a professional revolutionary is beyond me. So, yeah. While that was going on, a federal judge sentenced Autumn Jackson, who claimed to be Bill Cosby's daughter, to 26 months for trying to extort $40 million from him. Oh, poor, good old Bill Cosby, just getting reamed. I still believe he was innocent. I do not believe he did what he was accused of doing. Maybe he did, but I don't believe he did. So. 1997, Florida released Alex Arias, the last original Marlin. Aww. Alright, so an end of an era right there. 97 as well, Japanese train builders of the maglev claimed the world speed record at 332 miles per hour. What is the world speed train record now? It is 581 kilometers per hour. what is that to miles? Oh, here we go. Well, actually, hold on a second. 500 speed, 375 miles per hour. Okay. So yeah, right there, 603 kilometers per hour, 375 miles per hour. So we're still in the 300s, but we're 40 different. 1997 as well, the Red Sox signed Pedro Martinez to a record 60-year, $69 million contract. Nice. So, 69. 1997, TWA 800 hearings in. TWA 800 hearings. What is that? TWA. Why does that sound familiar? TWA crash. Okay, so okay, so the hearings on that crash. All right. In the year 2000. In the year 2000, U.S. Supreme Court released its 5-4 decision in Bush versus Gore, settling the recount dispute in Florida's 2000 presidential election in George W. Bush's favor. What a surprise, Jeb Bush being the governor of Florida at the time. Oh, how convenient. And thus handing him the presidency over Al Gore. Yeah, everybody's going on and on about the 2020 thing. Well, I mean, the right did the exact same, in the year 2000. So, that's why I keep saying, both the left and the right, Republican, Democrat, Conservative, Liberal, Red, Blue, it doesn't matter. They're two different wings on the same bird, and it's not an eagle, it's a vulture, and it's picking your ass. Anyway, moving on up to 2001, Winona Ryder was arrested on shoplifting charges in Beverly Hills, California. You're an actress. You have the money. You have no reason to shoplift. If you want a thrill, go to the Congo and risk getting shot. Okay? Like, don't shoplift. There's people out there, like store owners, who don't have it as good as you, Ryder. Winona Ryder, you freaking kleptomaniac thief scum. God, I hate people with money who do crap like that. Oh, I like the rush. Well, go freaking on safari for a rush, okay? Get on the wrong end of a freaking lion attack if you want to rush. Leave people alone. They're trying to make a living, you piece of crap. Anyway, 2004, on this day, this website here, launched as musicorb.com and todayinsport.com, two separate sites for music and sports history, which is now their music and sport channels. Okay, so this is their affiliates. That's pretty cool. All right. 2006, Puget produces its last car at the, or Puget? I'm not sure. Produced its last car at the Ryton plant, signaling the end of mass car production in Coventry, formerly a major center of the British motor industry. Very much like, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and all that stuff, and now we outsource everything to China, and everything's gone to shit. Yeah. 2013, United States announced sanctions of the 24 companies who assisted Iran with their nuclear program. Yeah, Israel is free to do whatever. They're a nuclear state. They have nuclear power. They have, nuclear weapons and all that stuff, but nobody pays them no mind. I wonder why. All the while, they're aggressively destroying, their hosts. If you really look at it, like Palestine was there first, then Israel came in. Like a parasite, and it's just coming in and killing the host, and now they've taken over. I mean, if I'm wrong, show me how. If I'm wrong, show me how. Change my mind. 2014, over 200 pro-democracy activists were arrested in Hong Kong. Yep. And while that was going on, the UN climate change talks in Peru continued past scheduled time as negotiations continued to stall. Yeah, more climate crap, yada yada. 2015, COP21 Climate Change Summit in Paris reached a deal between 195 countries to limit the rise in the global average temperature to less than 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Okay, well, I mean, no matter what we do, the climate is changing. It has before, and it will again, and it is right now. As I always say, are humans contributing to it? Yes. Is it any significant degree? Not by a billion years. Not by a billion years. Like, every fart you make contributes to it. Is that gonna, cause the polar ice caps to frickin' evaporate? No. So calm down, you Greta Thunbergs of the world. Enjoy life. 2015, first woman ever elected in Saudi Arabia in municipal council elections. Alright, cool. And we got 2016, Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte boasted he killed suspected criminals personally when mayor of Davao City. That is, holy crap. Wow. That's some pretty hardcore stuff. Not really in a good way. Do I have any comments in my live chat? It doesn't appear so. Wait a minute. I have something here. Jacob Peets! Yes. Oh, I gotta think of a rhyme for you. Like, thus yeets the Peets. I don't know. Like, we'll figure out something. Anyway, moving on up to 2017, Australian shopping mall firm Westfield was bought by French property company Unibal Rodamico for $15.7 billion. That's a lot of $1 billion for a shopping mall. Well, that's actually the whole firm, Westfield. So not just one shopping mall, but their entire thing. All right. While that was going on, Democrat Doug Jones defeated Republican Roy Moore for Alabama Senate seat in an upset win marked by allegations of sexual misconduct against Moore. Well, jibbity-doo-dah, swiggity-dee. Look at that. Democrat took it from me. Yeah, no, that has got to be some BS right there, especially in Alabama, of all places. Yeah, so it looks like they're already rigging things over there, too. As far back as 2017, at least. Let's see here. 2018, a U.S. Media Inc. publisher of National Enquirer admitted paying hush money to mistress of U.S. President Donald Trump. Okay. Whatever that means. I'm not sure if that's propaganda or not. 2018 as well, British Prime Minister... actually, no. Screw that. China built 88 of the world's 143 skyscrapers in 2018, more than any country ever. Buildings over 200 meters or 656 feet tall, but most of them, if not all of them, but the vast majority of them are all empty. During all China's real estate boom and the whole thing, like look into Evergreen or Evergrande. Hold on a second. Evergrande. Is it Evergrande? Evergrande real estate. Yeah, there we go. China. It's Evergrande. Yeah, look into that and all the stuff that's going on over there. 2018 as well, Russian cosmonauts Oleg Kononenko and Sergei Prokopiev completed a complex spacewalk to fix a hole in the Soyuz spacecraft. That's a yikes. So they're getting out of their capsule to fix a hole. Like, yee. We also have 7 mass graves in former Islamic State area discovered containing hundreds of bodies, some tortured near Abu Kamal in eastern Syria. Yeah, that happened. We also have 2019, the deepest point on land on Earth identified under Denman Glacier, East Antarctica at 3.5 kilometers or 11,500 feet. That's around 2 miles deep below sea level. Wow, that's one hell of a lake. 2020, Chinese leader Xi Jinping said the country will reduce its carbon intensity by 65% by 2030. Ha! Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I'm the Queen of France. 2020, media personality Paris Hilton was banned from TikTok. I mean, I wouldn't take that personally. TikTok is crap anyway. If anything, they're giving you a compliment by banning you from their filth. But yeah, whatever. We also have the United Nations chief, Antonio Guterres, urged world's leaders to declare climate emergency to avoid a catastrophic global warming on 5th anniversary of Paris Climate Accord. More propaganda. Garbage, BS, garbage. 2021, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced an emergency Kung Flu booster program to protect the NHS and stem a possible incoming tidal wave of, the next variant. There's always a next variant. And let's not forget, Boris Johnson took away everybody's rights. Oh, you have to, socially distance. You have to stay locked down. You have to wear a mask. And then he hosts, these parties and everything. Nobody's wearing a mask. Nobody's practicing social distancing. They're having a party at his house and all that stuff. And then he, as an apology, gives back what he took away. And then people eat it up. Dude, they should have been chasing him down the streets with a pitchfork. Freaking piece of shit. Like, knockoff British disheveled-haired Trump-looking wannabe motherfucker. Anyway, 2022, calculated and targeted execution left 3 people shot and killed, including 2 police officers, with the 3 killers also killed in a 6-hour gunfight near Willamilla, west of Brisbane, Australia. Whoa! I had no idea that happened. What happened to the whole gun backpack? Oh, if you let the governments take your guns, man, there won't be any bad guys with guns. Well, no, there will be. No. 2022, Emma Tucker appointed editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal, the first woman to lead the paper. All right, cool, cool. You know, let me give her an applause here. Where's my soundboard? Here we go. And last but not least, 2022, just this time last year, the city of Richmond, Virginia, you know, it's where, you know, try that in a small town, probably comes from, you know, Richmond, north of Richmond. Capital of the Confederacy during the U.S. Civil War, removed its last Confederate statue of Ambrose P. Hill. You know, and like, I don't completely disagree with the removing of Confederate statues, but at the same time, doing so takes that out of the public eye and removes that aspect of learning of history. You have to learn of every history, good and bad, especially the bad. Especially the bad. Because if you don't learn of the horrible shit that we've done in the past, how are you going to prevent it from happening again? You know? Yikes. Anyway, that will conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on Rumble or on YouTube. We're also on BitChute, and we are on Odyssey, although for select shows because of their internal crypto system and all that stuff, yada yada. Just go down there, check the link tree, look at all the places we're at. Anyway, for your dose of past events daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Pardon me. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander, and you viewer are, of course, you. Thank you for joining. Until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, be it, you know, the next history show, or our, you know, news show, you know, TOCNS, or the Peanuts, or our UFOlogy Paranormal Conspiracy show, or, you know, the Omni Kitchen, or INOSH, or whatever that is, you know. Until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!